So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, and a very warm welcome to all of you to the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament, or the second Parliamentary Session of the second World Teen Parliament. A very warm welcome to our honorable guests for today, and a very warm welcome to all the teen members of Parliament and influencers from India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, South Korea, Spain, and Sierra Leone, Africa. Thank you so much, teenagers, for joining us today this evening. Every year, the World Teen Parliament elects 100 teenagers from across the world to become the members of Parliament and work on improving the world with their ideas and their work. Throughout the year, we train them, mentor them, and fund them so that they can work on their ideas of world improvement and really change the world around them. This year, the current 100 teenagers that you see in front of you are the ones who inclusively have been elected to the World Teen Parliament, and they in all secured more than 400,000 votes, direct votes, to be a part of the World Teen Parliament. Thank you so much, and a very warm welcome once again to all the members of Parliament and teen influencers. Let us begin this session with an amazing guest for today who will be sharing his experience, his story, and his inspiration for all of you, that how can you change, improve, or typically make your future amazing. A very warm welcome to Mr. Vikas Singh, who is a senior advocate and currently the president of the Supreme Court Bar Association of India, which is the apex court of India. A very warm welcome, sir. Over to you for your opening address to the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. Vikas, sir, you'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually a very a great pleasure for me to interact with these youngsters and try to, sort of share some of my life stories and, also to try to make them, feel as to how they individually in their own way can contribute immensely to making this world a better place to live in the years to come, or in the decades to come, or in the centuries to come. And I feel that every child should be, sort of sensitized that what is his role on this planet today, and what does he have to do in his lifetime to leave a better planet for his children or for the next generation, because it is something which is called intergenerational equity. We can't, only think of our generation and our material, goodies at the cost of spoiling our future generation. And if we have this, aspect in mind in our day-to-day lives, I'm sure we will all be able to make an impact that the world in the days to come will be a much better place to live in. So I'll just share of mine and, just to motivate youngsters, because I feel that there is something in my story which has a small message. So I started off as a, marketing executive in Steel Authority of India Limited, but I always dreamed to be a lawyer. And I worked for 9 years in the steel sector. And then thereafter I resigned and started practicing straight away in Supreme Court. So the story which is of importance is that I had a dream and I had the commitment and the passion to fulfill my dream. And by the time I had done about 9 years of service and, I had 2 small children and responsibilities, and leaving a job and doing something completely different to what I was doing in Steel Authority, that is getting into the legal field, was a huge challenge. Anybody who, heard that I'm taking this plunge so late in the day, and that too being away from law for 9 years, told me that you're, taking a huge risk and you may repent, because I joined Steel Authority at a very young age and I had a huge potential of going to the highest in that organization. Resigning from was my dream, and I fulfilled my dream by getting here. And I would definitely say that my hard work and, of course, the kindness of God helped me reach wherever I am today. and I've been able to, whatever success that I could get. So every child, firstly, should have a dream. And if you don't have a dream, then you must devote some time to identifying your dream. And once you have identified your dream, then you must bring in that passion to achieve that dream. And when I say dream and when I say do something, I don't mean anything. This is not nothing to do with the material richness or the money that you earn in pursuing your dream. The dream is basically to be happy in whatever you're doing. So at the end of the day, I mean, really speaking, the material part of any vocation has a very limited, sort of role to play in one's overall development in life and his positioning in society or his positioning on this earth. Because what really matters is that you should do a job which is for which you are doing, which you are happy doing, number one. And number two, you should be able to impact as many lives as you can in your journey of life to try and make their life better. And I can tell you that the biggest satisfaction that I have today in my life is that as president of the Supreme Court Bar Association, whatever impact I have been able to make on the lives of my fellow lawyers, I think that's my biggest achievement, and the respect that I've gained in the profession. I think that's the biggest asset that I've created in my life. And any amount of money, any amount of richness, real estate can never match this asset that you develop by virtue of your hard work and your passion and your ability to make others' lives better. Now, the other thing which comes to my mind is that in your journey of life, you must always have gratitude. And when I say gratitude, you must always appreciate what you have today with you. I'm not saying that you should not aspire to do better and to get into a better position, but enjoy this today. Enjoy what you have today, because when you have gratitude, you will always realize that whatever position you are today in, there are people worse off than you. There are people without, their arms, their limbs. There are people who can't hear. There are people who can't see. There are people who don't have clothes. There are people who don't have 2 meals to eat. You are better than them. So that is gratitude. If you have that gratitude, that sense of gratitude in life, you will never be unhappy, because you will always look at those people, who are less fortunate than you, and always, thank God that what all He has given you to enjoy and to, sort of, which is better than the others. So many have-nots in society. Now, if you have gratitude, then you will always be a very contented life. So the first thing I said was that your life should impact as many people as you can in your journey. And it is that impact that you create is your actual richness or your asset and the respect that you are able to gain in society. Even if you become a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, but if an average man, does not talk highly of you, I think your money is of no use at all. It is of no, benefit to your persona or your personality or your well-being. Your well-being is really determined by how people respect you and how you have tried to impact their lives. Now, once you have a gratitude and once you are, out to try and do something better for people around you, then you are actually starting in a journey of your life to, achieve the ultimate goal of, I would say, I mean, you're all too young to talk of nirvana or things like that. But ultimate objective of any life is to reach towards nirvana. And this is one way to start in that direction. It may be a small start in the beginning for you as your youngsters today, but that small start will give you so much of happiness in this journey of life and so much of contentment that every moment of your life, starting from now, will be full of, so much of diversity and so much of value addition to your life. Now, as far as the changes that you all can make in society, and of course, one you must have all heard about the Swedish girl who has made sensation over the world. She started this fight for climate change. Now, climate change, of course, everybody talks of climate change, but very few are really doing much for climate change. We are only saying that everybody should do. But what individually can you as a person make some changes in your lifestyle or in your routine or in your surrounding, which will help in climate change? And if you start thinking in that line, and if you're able to, sensitize as many children around you to also do a small bit in for climate change, I think you'll be doing a great service to humanity. And I would say the small, ways to start would be to firstly, ensure that there is no, so there are times when I have been on the beach and I've seen litter around, me and my friends were walking on the beach. We made it a point that we'll try and clear 100 yards only. So we picked up all the litter on 100 yards, and we did that instead of walking. We just did that and picked up the litter and put it in the dustbin. And, in that 1 hour or 2 hours of cleaning that 100 yards, it gave us so much of satisfaction, and the look of the beach changed so much that if every person starts doing this, or at least thinking of doing this, you can imagine how much, change you'll be able to bring about, because ultimately all this has a snowballing effect on the environment. The other thing you can also do is, of course, which is, of course, a direct benefit, is to plant trees. Make it a habit to plant trees whenever and wherever you get an opportunity. So you can go in your village, plant some trees there. You can plant trees in your neighborhood. You can motivate people to, plant trees wherever they can. And that, I think, is a great way of, contributing to climate change and ensuring that you are doing your little bit. And while you do it, and by the very fact that you are doing it, and when your people see you doing it, you will have so many people motivated to do this, and probably you can start a movement in your own small locality or in that small neighborhood wherever you are living, to start in that direction to improve the, the other thing which we face, of course, in India is with regard to, the lawlessness that we see. And it is a very unfortunate part. I don't know how many of you are from India and how many are from which jurisdictions. Probably in the West, it is not that big a problem, but in India, definitely it is. And I'm sure in a lot of these third world countries also it would be, that you take pride. I mean, an average man takes pride in flouting the law. And the more he's able to flout the law and get away with it, is the bigger sense of pride that he, boasts about all his life. So if you can try and make some change in that, and, remind people that what you're doing is not correct, and, you should, if somebody can show the mirror to somebody and say that, look here, this is what you did. So when you jump a red light, or when you, construct a boundary wall and you try to encroach upon public land, or you do anything of this sort, where you find that you have, or you deprive somebody of his rightful place on a train berth, and sit on that berth and, trouble him for that, and say that you have a right to disturb somebody who has a seat booked. So if you are able to, contribute in that, and try to sort of improve the civic sense around you, I'm sure it will have a huge impact. Again, with you youngsters doing it, it will be a bigger impact on society, because anything which a youngster does is more noticed than what an elderly person does. So elderly people are supposed to be urbanizing all the time. And the youngsters are the ones who say that your generation is gone. You don't know. This is a new generation. You have no idea of how things are now today. But if a youngster starts doing it, that becomes actually that I just see how this Thornburg girl, she became so famous. It's only because she was a young girl and did it. The elders were saying it, but a young girl doing it and standing on the streets and, with that protest and trying to make a point, how it caught on all over the world. So if a youngster starts doing this, that civic sense, that orderliness, that rule of law, that bringing in that sense of rule of law, I think you'll be doing a great job in the days to come. Since I was told that I have to do 10 to 15 minutes, I think I've already done that. I've overshot. So I think I'll leave it open to you, and it'll be very, very nice to respond to any question, because I've really kept the canvas a little open so that you can ask me on any question, and I'd like to, answer in whatever best way that I can, so that I help you in your journey of life to do something good in society and to improve wherever you are and in whatever environment you are.
Thank you so much, sir. The first question for you comes from MP G. Mahalakshmi. G. Mahalakshmi, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. I am G. Mahalakshmi of 10th standard, studying in Bright Public School, Bangalore, India. So my question is, I read that you contribute to Cry and Handicapped Children's Association of India. Can you please share your experience about this and what made you do this?
So, as I said earlier in my speech, that your journey of life should be try and help as many people as you can, and because of which I help the handicapped children. Whenever I come to know of a child who's who can't afford the medical expenses, I try and pay the bill and ensure that the treatment goes through. I also, contribute to the Deaf and Dumb Women's Society. My wife is the president of the society, Delhi Deaf and Dumb Society. I'm the chief patron. So whatever way I can. I also have been running a scholarship for the girl child in my village from the time when my father died, which was a good 20 years from now. And the real person, almost 20 years, the real reason was for starting that scholarship, that my father used to say that educating a boy is educating one person, whereas educating a girl is actually educating a family. And I have really felt that getting that scholarship for girl children has helped in more girls, continuing with their higher education and not dropping out from school. And these are small ways which I am trying to make in my limited, area of helping people.
Thank you, sir.
The next question comes from MP Twisha Rawat. Twisha, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. My name is Twisha Rawat. I'm from class 10th and I study in the Kalyani School in Pune, Maharashtra, India. My question is that you're a major advocate for women's education and having high positions in the law profession. But recently it has been found that only 15% women are lawyers in India. To improve the situation, what do you think are the changes that need to be made to let women have more opportunities in the law profession?
Sorry, I missed out the question because there was some signal break.
Yes, sir, I'll repeat it. So you're a major advocate for women's education and having higher positions in the law profession. But recently it has been found that only 15% women are lawyers in India. To improve this situation, what do you think are the changes that need to be made to let women have more opportunities in the law profession?
So one of the changes which I feel is very important is that to open up more positions for women to become judges. And I've been, advocating for that in a very big way. I've been talking to the Chief Justice of India that more and more women are made judges, because the more the women are made judges, the more young girls would be motivated to join the legal profession. But I personally feel that there is a bigger problem for women to succeed in our profession, and which is more to do with, how women are made so when they the in the legal profession, the real cutting edges or the real struggle years are initial years, when you have to really put in a lot of slog hours and work very, very hard. And it's only if you do those slog hours in the initial years that you go higher up in the profession. So women invariably miss out because of childbirth and then managing the family and then, managing the household affairs. And unfortunately in India, managing the household still is considered to be the responsibility of the woman. And that attitude has to change. So if that attitude changes, then a woman will be also out to work and the husband would also, be helping in the household work. And that ultimately will, but that's more a social change than a legal change. And once that happens, then I'm sure more women will be able to make it into the legal profession. But of late, I've seen that more and more girls are joining the legal profession, which is a very, very welcome sign.
Thank you, sir.
The next question comes from MP Abhijit Gaddam. Abhijit, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. My name is Abhijit Gaddam from grade 7 of Shining Star International School.
Yeah.
My question, sir, is hello?
Yeah, I'm actually missing out on the voice.
My question, sir, your voice is glitching out.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Abhijit, you can, start again.
I missed out. Actually, I missed out in between.
Abhijit, can you start from the beginning?
Sir,
Start again.
Sir, the voice is laggy. I cannot hear you all properly.
Yeah, now I can hear you. I think now it's clear.
Yes, sir. I am Abhijit Gaddam of Shining Star International School's 7th grade, and I'm from United Arab Emirates. My question to you, sir, is what challenges did you face during the election for the title President of the Supreme Court Bar Association?
That's a very interesting question. This election is one of the most prestigious elections in the country, I would say, because we have, all the top legal minds as our voters. And to win this election is a matter of great, I would say, a reflection of how you are, respected in the profession. And the other challenge is that we have voters from all over India. So we have Supreme Court as a bar from the entire country. And to be able to connect to lawyers from every state is a big challenge. So it was a big challenge for me. My biggest challenge in my first election was that as a human being or as a person, with my, my nature, I would say, I was very poor in remembering names. And that was a big limitation in fighting an election. So I really had to work hard to remember names and to, so even if I remembered the face, I did not remember the name. So that was a big training. So there are some cues to do that. And if you want to do something, and this is again another life lesson I want to give you. If you want to do something, you have to, work on it. So when I did my first cross-examination, I read a book on cross-examination. I said, I don't want my client to suffer because I'm doing my first cross-examination. So I don't know what cross-examination is all about. When I did my first civil suit, I read the entire civil procedure code before filing my first suit. Again, with the same objective that I don't want. So for the election also, I read all, traits or habits which are necessary for you to remember faces and the names. And that was the first step in, being familiar with the lawyers and trying to know them, to understand their problems, to appreciate their problems, try to help them in their issues. And that ultimately resulted in my success in the elections.
Thank you so much. So the next question comes from Shreyashi Day. She's an influencer of the Teen Parliament. Shreyashi, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. I am Shreyashi Day, studying in class 7th in RAN International School in Kunalahalli, Bangalore, in Karnataka, India. So I have researched a few of your videos where you have mentioned the collegium system has a lot of flaws in it. So do you think the NJSC Act can complete the flaws of the collegium system, or any other act which can complete it?
So the collegium system has flaws because unfortunately the judges either they don't have the time to do it, or rather I would say both. They don't have the time to look at the good names, and many a times they don't even have the inclination to look at the good names. So they are ending up appointing people whom they know, or people whom they see in court, which is not the best of the best. So I feel that there can be a law which can be brought in, which I have suggested to the law minister also, and he mentioned that in the parliament, the Indian parliament, that Mr. Singh has given him draft legislation on that. So I have suggested the law to regulate the collegium system, and that will give a permanent secretariat to every High Court and Supreme Court to look at names who can be considered and evaluate them, do an integrity check, do the competence check, and then suggest those names so that the best names are considered. So I think there can be a new law to replace the NJSC, and that can be the best way to appoint judges.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Vikas, sir, for being here with us in the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. You are very graceful and by sharing the time and answering the questions of all the teenagers. I hope we'll be able to get some more time from you in the future for more inclusive interactions and more deep interactions with all the MPs and influencers of the Teen Parliament. Thank you so much for taking out the time for being here with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It was indeed a pleasure to talk to all these youngsters. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. A very warm welcome to the second guest for today, to the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. We are very elated to welcome Dr. Mohammad Sabur Khan, the current president of the Association of Universities of Asia and the Pacific, and the founder and chairman of the Daffodil International University from Bangladesh. A very warm welcome, sir. Over to you for your opening address at the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, sir.
No, thank you. Thank you, Daksh Gaur. Thank you. And thank you to all of the wonderful member of parliament. And I'm sure that this leader is the future of any nation, not only Southeast Asia. I'm sure that in the whole world, we need a lot of leader. So I should say that a few of the discussion I already gone through from Advocate Vikas Singh, and definitely the young chap, I understood because their spirit. So as I understood, they gather here today to discuss important issues that affect our world. And no doubt it is crucial to acknowledge the role of leadership in creating future of all of us. But it is said that the great leaders, everyone we know, they are not born, but made. So what does it take to become a good leader? I hope that this wonderful parliamentary session is giving them a lot of idea how they should delegate their tasks, how they should inspiring to others and building trust, creating their vision and the work one-to-one. So that is why I should say that it's required the combination of skill, inclusion, communication, empathy, adaptability, strategic thinking. You also need to adapt in every aspect. And of course, as parliamentary session, I hope that it is the best tools, the communication. The communication is essential for any parliamentary area, member of parliament, or any leader. I think in every aspect, we know that the leadership, in all respect, the communication is the essential, as it allows everyone to convey their ideas and goals to effectively for their team member. And definitely it is important also to listen actively. I saw that when Mr. Vikas Singh is already giving his speech, everyone is very patient. They're listening actively and give feedback to ensure that everyone is in the same pace. Looks like no one is moving, trying to understand his lecture. So that's why I should say that empathy is another crucial skill in our leadership, and which of course need to possess. It allows a leader to understand the perspective and feelings of others, which is necessary to build strong relationship and create a positive team culture. I found that someone is from Pune, someone is from Bangalore, someone is from various states. So that means this strong relationship from various cluster is needed to bring among your future destination. So again, as I mentioned, that communication adaptability is also essential. So because leadership skill, if you're not adaptable, then it must be able to pivot and adjust your approach. Because if you professionally approach, then all of the circumstances can change over. You see, sometimes when you see the parliament, the member of parliament approach to the leader of the parliament, the approach is really playing a very great role. So definitely, again, the ability to embrace change and take calculated risk is what sets great leaders apart from the rest. So I think it will be good if I'm just getting some question, because I know that as per my business experience, I don't know that how much Mr. Gaur is already mentioned, because I'm already coming with the diversity of business background. I started my business as an IT business, and later on I involved in the education sector. Then I'm also playing a very key role to develop the young people to become an entrepreneur. So finally, as I love to say, that the strategic thinking is critical for leaders to achieve long-term goals, because today you are here, but of course tomorrow you will be really sitting in the real member of parliament, because leaders must be able to analyze. Nowadays, technology is playing a very good role. So we need to analyze data, analyze the trends, and make informed decisions that will lead to desired outcome. So of course, always I love to say, as I myself is IT business contributor, I should say that please try to analyze the data. So again, in conclusion, again, I should say the leadership is not just a title, but setup is skill that can be developed and handed it over the time. So I'm again, thank you very much to introduce me with all of the future leaders who can focus for developing of the nation with their own skill and create a better world. So I hope that if you allow me to get some of their question, I love it.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opening address. The first question comes to you from MP Radhika Agarwal. Radhika, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir. Greetings, everyone. My name is Radhika Agarwal, and I'm studying in grade 12 at Pine Grove School. I belong to the state of Punjab in India. Sir, I want to address a question to you. Almost everyone present over here must have cooked up a career plan to become a teacher, an officer, or whatnot. So how you, as the president of AUAP, advise the teens, which are the upcoming future, to work wholeheartedly to achieve their goal? Because it's said that if you do not work with your heart, you achieve a hollow success.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you very much for your very wonderful question. I always love to say this is your right time to focus your career, because you fix your target, you can move on your reaching on your goal. So what should be, you see, if you have the passion or if you have the intention to become a teacher, doctors, businessman, innovator, idea generator, programmer, whatever happen, please try to start right now. Okay, now, right now you have to focus on your education, but at the same time, whenever you are getting your leisure time, relaxed time, try to put it down, try to go to the internet and try to get the data. What sorts of the best knowledge you need to acquire to become the best professional in your own choice. Because if you collect the data and if you analyze it and try to find out, and looks like as if you see the mirror, if you're in front of the mirror, what you are seeing yourself, right? If the mirror you see, it looks good, then it's feel that you are confident. So that means if you can think about your career, you need to find out the right track, right point, right initiative, best practices, who are the best, who is the best contributor, whom you should follow. So by this way, if you can talk, if you practice, if you note, if you try to figure out making your own policy, it will be easier to reach on your own destination, which you call that the goal. Because again, so thank you, Radhika. Again, I should considering all of the participants, of course, I should address to the honorable member of parliament. Please try to put it down. And again, please put note, because don't think so that you can keep everything in your brain. Because I love to say that please use your notepad or mobile note or whatever happened, everything you try to note. Now you are participating in this session. Maybe some few of the points came to your mind, but if you think, okay, it will be in my mind. No, maybe tomorrow you will forget it. So let's try to put it down right now. What you learned from Mr. Vikas Singh, what you learned from me, what you learned from Mr. Gaur. So everything you need to put it down and try to figure out. Okay, maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, maybe 5 years, after 5 years, suddenly it came to my mind, well, I participated in the teen parliamentary session and I got this point. Just go through this same point and maybe it will be giving you some wake-up call that what should be your next destination or way of tracking. I hope Radhika is very clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I hope that your expertise will really help a lot of us.
My pleasure.
The next question comes from MP Mohammad Tehseen Rayat Taj. Tehseen, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mohammad Tahseen Rayat Taj. I am a member of parliament of the World Team Parliament, and I'm studying in 9th grade in Benchmark International School, which is situated in Tongi, Gazipur, Bangladesh. So my question to you, sir, is how are Bangladeshi entrepreneurs faring in the global condition?
Well, Mr. Tahseen, thank you very much. As you are from the Tongi, you know, the Tongi is industrial area and there is plenty of opportunity to learn. As you know that the global Bangladeshi peoples can have a very good opportunity because as a Bangladeshi, I should say, Bangladeshi people is by born, they are entrepreneurial minded. Because why? Because you see that before 1971, we were dominated by the Pakistani people, those who are not looks after about our education, not developing our industrial sector, not developing infrastructure. So what happened after 1971, you see that we are a new country and a lot of trouble we face it. So by this way, our people are really become the entrepreneur minded. So maybe you will be happy to know that our economy is day by day is developing. And you know, once upon a time, our per capita income was only $430 before 15 years back. But now our per capita income is very close to $3,000. So it's very fast growing. Even I should say the comparison to the India, our per capita income is growing fast. Why? The business community is playing the very good role. So that's why I should say that Tahseen, global perspective, I should say that we should learn that how the entrepreneurial mindset we are learning. As you are a student of the 9, and thank you very much. This is your good time that to learn from your surrounding. Because as you are in Gazipur, as you are in Tongi, you will see a lot of the big industrial development going on. So whenever you're moving to the school, whenever you're moving to the friend, try to learn something so that you can disseminate your information to the global friend. Today, you see this parliamentary session, I think you are also getting the plenty of opportunity to do the networking. I think you should trust it. The networking is considered as a net worth. It's a money. Don't consider, oh, I'm putting some of the time is worthless. No, it is value. It's a huge value because today you are already meeting with plenty of people, global people. So if you can consider these people, this networking is your asset, putting their name, putting their email ID, putting their social networking and sharing your value idea. Maybe once upon a time, these people can be become of the Prime Minister of the India, Prime Minister of the other countries, right? So global perspective, I'm sure that you should always keep your networking on and try to contribute as much as possible with your entrepreneurial spirit. Thank you, Tahseen. Next.
Thank you very much, sir.
The next question comes from MP Paulina Thomas. Paulina, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm Paulina Tomás Ortiz. I'm MP and I'm in my 10th grade at school, and I come from Albacete, Spain. My question is, many students now tend to go outside their country to study. What, according to you, is better to stay in your own country or go elsewhere to get a better experience? Thanks.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you very much. My humble suggestion to all of you, as you have the fantastic networking, please try to study other institute at least for 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 1 month, considering your ability, considering educational compliances. Because if you're a school student, then you cannot get the more time. But if you're a university student, you'll get one semester. If you are a student of the college, then maybe you cannot get more time, that is 6 to 7 days. But please try to exchange as much as possible, because this is called mobility. If you visit one university or one school to another school, one institute to another institute, one country to another country, you can learn also the what God is created the whole world. You see, the God is already, you see, every places God has some specific intention. God repeatedly said, I have some specific intention. Without any specific intention, God did not create anyone, no one. So you see, some people are creative, some people are lazy, some people are entrepreneurial minded, some people are innovative, some people are challenging mentality, some color are changing, mentality changing, especially the India and Bangladesh and these subcontinent people, Southeast Asia people is very emotional people. They always give the highest priority to emotion, affection, hospitality. These sorts of matter is already is completely in our blood, I should say. So whenever you'll come to one country to another country, just last month I saw that the few of the faculty from Spain came to our university for exchange program. So it's beautiful. I asked them, what are you feeling? Therefore, really, if you are not coming to Bangladesh earlier, we never realized that there is plenty of people, very small country, but huge, highly population or highly density of the population. So I think there's a coming from the Europe. If you come to India and Bangladesh, I'm sure that you can learn a lot of things, and going back to Spain, you can contribute to the society, getting the knowledge to this real life.
Okay, yes, it's true. Thanks.
The next question comes from MP Naisha Agarwal. Naisha, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening. I'm Naisha Agarwal, a member of Parliament, a student of grade 7th Billabong High International School, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, India. As a teenager with an entrepreneur inclination, I ask you, how are you able to identify the opportunity in the education sector and using your background make a successful business out of it?
Well, you see, it's a very, very good question, Naisha, because while you are studying to the school,
which are the considerations should focus upon?
Okay, while you study to your education institute, I think you can mixing, doing networking, and trying to upskill your ability. So how much people you can meet, how much people they like you, how much collaboration you can make it, that will be the great lesson for you when you will go to the career life. So when I was the student of the school and college, and you'll be surprised to know that in my company, my childhood friend, I think not less than 20 is my childhood friend working in my company. My university friend is not less than 10 to 15 my university friend are working in my company. So that means these friendship I developed while I was studying, I was a student. So this education made me confident to become a perfect entrepreneurial leader. So that is why you are rightly pointed out that please try to flourish your leadership skill, ability, networking skill, what I already mentioned, communication skill in my earlier speech. If you develop these sorts of matter while you are studying, of course, in career life, in your practical life, it is unbelievable benefit you will bring in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next question comes from MP Kim So-hyun. Kim, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm Amber or Kim So-hyun. I'm from South Korea and studying in C4 International School in Malaysia. While doing my research about you, I found out you're an entrepreneur, but you also aim to provide the best ICT and education in Bangladesh. So I wonder what inspired you to do this, and what is the relationship between your main job, and education?
Well, first of all, when I started my business in 1990, you see, I faced a lot of trouble to develop the leader, as you are all of this coming here to become a great leader of the society. So first time when I'm facing the severe problem that I'm not getting the right people that whom I should develop, train, and develop them to lead my company, because I developed almost 54 company I am now running, but almost more than 10 company I sold it down, or I just other people merging my company. So what happened? Starting my business, when I'm facing the trouble, so I started my education sector in 1997. I have the one first education institute called DIIT, and later on this DIIT is transformed or coming to the university status. So my question is that, as you know, that need analysis, because whenever you will be moved, you see, a lot of cases, your necessity will just move you to do something. So my purpose is also same. When I'm starting my business, I'm facing some problem, leadership, but now I don't have any problem. Whenever I need the people, I can easily recruit my people from my institute, my university, because I have school, I have vocational training institute, I have college, I have various types of professional institute, I have university. Everything I already developed between this time. So this is a great opportunity for me to find out the right people for my company also. Because again, you see that as South Korea, I think why you are very strong in the technology. And if you consider the per capita income, you are also very good in the per capita income. But what is your problem? Your basic problem is you don't have the much population. Your population is very shorted. If you have the much population like us, I think you can create the more impact than present scenario. So I should say that to run your business, to run your entrepreneurial journey, or lead the company, you need some good people. Whenever you need the good people, what will be your best practices? You will try to find out in your surrounding, or try to develop some few people based on your mentality. Because you see, Kim, as what type of people you like to lead, based on that one you can develop in your institute or in your company. So I also did in the same thing. I try to develop the course, what exactly the market demand. You know, the market demand IT people. That's why I focus more in IT. Market demand is the creative people. That's why I focus and I developed one subject. It's called the multimedia and creative design or creative technology. It's called the MCT. You see, now, before COVID, we also realized the food is one of the key components for keeping our life properly. You see, in COVID time, we understood the maximum people are become or sick due to cause of their lack of immune system. So immune system coming not from the medicine, immune system coming from the food. So that is why you see 10 years back in our university, we also developed nutrition and food engineering science. So based on the demand, I always try to contribute in the education sector. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. It was really inspiring.
The next question comes from MP Shloka Krishna. Shloka, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. My name is Shloka Krishna and I'm currently in grade 9 in the Foundation School, Bangalore, India. My question to you is, nowadays we see many students from Asian countries go abroad, for example, to the US or to the UK for their higher studies. What do you think can be done to ensure or to encourage Asian teenagers to stay and study in their respective countries?
But thank you, Krishna. It depends on your own, you see, your own ideology, your familial values. My personal suggestion, stay in your own home. Try to contribute better. Because if I myself is already leave the country, maybe I can stay in USA or UK. Of course, I can carry the other country's passport. But you see, whatever identity and contribution I can develop in my beloved country, I'm feeling proud, and thanks to my God who already created me. So that is why I should say that, as you are also representing from Bangalore, you know, Bangalore is a heaven for IT, right? It is considered the Silicon Valley of India. So it is a great opportunity for you to contribute for the Bangalore. But again, for learning and earning knowledge, of course, you have the scope to go to the abroad. So suppose I should say in 1999, I got the opportunity to start in the management on technology in Japan. So instantly I took the opportunity and I went to the Japan. I learned a lot of things because, you know, Japanese people, culture, and at the same time, I should say that for a lot of things, I also learned from the Korea, because these two nations, they have a very similarity. They are very strategic, they're very focused, and they are very specific, and quality matter, they never compromise. That is the one of the reasons you see Japan and South Korea, both of them, small nation, but you see they control the whole world technological development. So I should say that, of course, you should go to the abroad for higher study or better knowledge. But please, as a human being, why God is sending Krishna to you in Bangalore? Definitely God has intention to develop your career in Bangalore. So let's try Bangalore. If you fail, then you can ask to the God, hey, give me the opportunity to go to the other country because I fail in Bangalore. But let's try, because failure is also the pillar of success. Everyone will know, right?
Thank you so much for taking the time to answer my question. It was an honor to interact with you.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you so much, everyone, for asking the questions. Since we are nearly at the conclusion of the parliamentary session, before this session can conclude, I would request Sabur Sahab to give a closing thought as a president of the Association of Universities from Asia and the Pacific. What do you think are the opportunities that AUAP can extend to these MPs, and what can these MPs do for these universities across Asia and the Pacific? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Gaur, because as you know that the Association of University of the Asia Pacific, we are representing the whole Asia, very close to 6,000 university, and few of the university from Europe is also our member. So from this platform, what we can do it, we can also bring in the university student in the same spirit as you already showed with this Teen Asia. So maybe I hope that some of them can make one team, and we can also find out some of the universities who can partnering with them to develop their skill. Because again, skill is important factor. You can buy, I can give you the one example. If you have money, you can buy a motorcycle. But if you don't have skill, after a few minutes, you can fall in an accident, and you may lost your life. You may lost your leg, lost your any part of the body. So before buying your motorcycle, you need to learn your technique, how to handle it. So that is why skill is important, not to rather. You can buy a costly mobile phone, costly laptop, but what is the result? The result is your skill. If you cannot use it in properly, I think it will be laughing case. So that is, I should say that please come to one of the proposal. Maybe we will find out one of the best way how we should AOP, all of the partnering university can be partnering with your good efforts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammad Sabur Khan, for taking out the time and being here with us on the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. A very big thank you to everyone, all the teenagers, all the MPs and the influencers for joining us on this call and being here with us for the 14th Parliamentary Session. The World Teen Parliament every year elects 100 MPs from across the world who work on ideas of world improvement. The current 100 MPs that you see in front of you have got direct more than 400,000 votes to become a part of the World Teen Parliament. And that's why they're here. We're very thankful to all the school leaders, teachers, parents who have all supported them to be here with us. A very big thank you to all the teen MPs from India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, South Korea, UAE, and Sierra Leone from Africa. Thank you so much for being here with us. And this was the 14th Parliamentary Session of the World Teen Parliament. Thank you so much, Sabur Sahab, for being here with us today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to join with all of you. Wish all of you good luck.